Last mission. Final boss mode. What it do?
There was a lot of boxing on last night. Y'all gentlemen ready to get into that? Some fisticuffs.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're definitely ready to get into that boxing last night because there was supposed to be 2 cards last night, and originally we were going to talk about, I think, the Golden Boy one more, but something went left with the Golden Boy one. They can't figure out who Mangueira was actually going to face, so Top Rank got Top Billing. You know what I mean? So it was, I think it was pretty much, it was like an all weekend card, man. It was, it was something else, man. The main event, of course, was WBO featherweight champion Emanuel Navarrete, defending his belt for, I think it was like the 6th or 7th time, because dude's been pretty frequent with his title defenses against Christopher Diaz in the main event, and then the co-main, which had a whole lot of attention. This is one of the rare young fighters that actually gets attention. Edgar Berlanga, faced Nicholson in there, and everyone was, I think the big story obviously with that is, would Berlanga, continue the KO streak. But before we get into the main card, though, we definitely got to shed light on the prelims. And the prelims, like I said, it was like Ricans, or some of them was like Ricans versus Puerto Ricans. Ricans versus Mexicans, excuse me. Ricans versus
hold on, you got like real Puerto Ricans and like fake people. Which one was it?
I don't want to set off some sort of like war or anything like that, because what do you mean by Ricans and Puerto Ricans? What do you mean by that?
That sounds like some Chris Rock shit. I mean, you had some blacks versus niggas over here. It was pretty entertaining. Like the fuck, hold on. So shout outs, official scorecard boxing, science.
Yeah.
What it do? Salute.
Yeah, the prelims was on point. Like you could feel like, this is one of the cards, the Top Rank, was able to have people in the audience again. And it was like a Puerto Rican contingent up in there in Miami or wherever they were.
Kissimmee,
yeah.
Dude, I thought they was in Miami the way he had so many damn people there, like it was a vibe, like
it was a real vibe. Like you could hear it. It's like, no cage, no noises, no can noise or anything like that. That shit was vibing like big time though.
You seen people walk back and forth with drinks in their hand, like okay, right? Florida, full Florida.
Yeah, and then the highlight of the prelims though was Joseph Adorno versus Jermaine Ortiz. And the reason why I like that fight so much is they're young prospects, undefeated prospects, and they were put into a fight together. And that, for some reason, that's a rarity in boxing. It doesn't happen as much as they like to, as it should. And
it happens like once every winter solstice or something.
Yeah, exactly. And Ortiz is a local cat around my way. Like I know people that know him and deal with him and like that. And my boy, he's one of my boys' fighters or whatever. Shout out to CES Boxing. But yeah, that was honestly, I mean, judging by the reaction, it was either a low key fight of the year or probably should have actually been on the main card. Just the way those two were, those two were going at it.
The main card would have to start at 9 or 8 if you would have added that, because like they stacked up such a good card. You pretty much had to watch it from the beginning. And shit, I got home a little late, so I didn't see the first fight. But when I got to it, that shit was on point.
Yeah, I was talking to LB about it. I was like, yo, like these cats are really going at it. Like they really starting off early with this. Like, they throwing hands.
It was like too early in the evening to be fighting this hard. Like,
yeah. Yeah, and they were fighting really hard. Like the other Adorno brother, like, he was he won the majority decision. And then Xander Zayas, like, I mean, obviously he's one of Top Rank's hottest prospects. He scored a brutal first round stoppage. And then there was Ruiz versus Lopez. They had their little war in there too. And then and then Josue Vargas and Willie Shaw. I mean, that was probably the most. I'll say it was probably the most anticlimactic fight. But even that fight had its moments.
It did, but I ain't gonna lie. Like I was falling asleep during that fight because I knew we weren't going to get a knockout.
Yeah, although Vargas, God bless him, he was trying to put that dude away.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, no, but
dude was trying to put him away too. Shit.
Yeah, but that Jermaine Ortiz Joseph Adorno fight, that shit had so many ebbs and flows. It was crazy. It was bloody. Like they both landed facing each other, and then Adorno scored 2 knockdowns. One which was kind of, you can call, maybe it was a flash knockdown, if you want to say it was a flash. He got cuffed this under the head, and he got caught behind the ear and went down. So and at least you can explain that. The round 7 one, where Adorno was looked like he was backing up, he wasn't doing nothing, and then Adorno connects with a left hook that sends dude bent over it between the ropes, and he was out of it. He was out on his feet, So you're thinking to myself, oh shit, this shit is about to be stopped. This is, but the ref actually gave him a standing 8, and give him a standing 8, and they allowed him to continue though. But I think that second knockdown probably saved Adorno from a loss on the cards, which he was heading towards. So if you haven't seen that fight, make sure that the other prelim fights are good if you want to see that. But I mean, I'm fully recommending the Ortiz Joseph Adorno fight. This shit was really something to watch. Jason, just before we go on to the main card, did you happen to catch any of the prelim fights?
I did not. I was late. I did catch the main fight though, which was crazy. And shout out to y'all for getting me back into boxing, because I've been so out of it with boxing. But yeah, that main event was dope.
Yeah. So you didn't catch the Berlanga fight?
Nah.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Me and LB, we had some words about that fight. But I'm gonna let somebody else, Pilot. I'm sure you saw the Berlanga fight. What did you think of it?
I mean, at least the streak's over. The Goldberg streak's over.
Yeah.
No, but he showed elements. I mean, at least he got to see elements of of his bag. So I mean, it was a good performance. I mean, it was better than maybe someone expected. Going, 8. Was it 8? Was it 8 or 10?
It was 8.
It was 8. Yeah, it was 8. I mean, it showed some deficiencies, but I mean, his defense is better than I thought it was. He put a good performance on.
P, what about you?
So, and everybody that knows me knows every time I hear Berlanga.
Let me get ready for this one.
This was not the one. This was a very good fight, entertaining. Glad it went past one round. Glad it went the whole fight. Berlanga showed me some stuff. There's still some deficiencies, but I'm not going to nitpick too much. But that footwork needs to get better. I thought he was starting to gas out a little bit around the 6th. But what I'm saying? But those were the two big things that I noticed. The footwork was, oh my God. But hopefully that improves. He's still young enough to improve that one. But overall, pretty good performance.
Yeah, no, and definitely. And Rome, what about you? Did you happen to see that fight?
I don't think he saw the main event.
The main event. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I know. I mean, honestly, I didn't have any real criticism of Berlanga. Like I said, just like everyone else. Because I was tired of Top Rank. Hyping that up, and especially when who actually holds the record, it's not really a record to really be celebrated. It's like, so I was like, yeah, whatever, but no, Berlanga. But I mean, Nicholson was a tough guy. I mean, 23-3-1 with 20 knockouts. Like, honestly, I would have been more surprised if Berlanga did get him out of there in the first round. Like that, because he
should have got him out of there. Period. Fuck all that. Y'all being too nice about this shit.
Well, no, I'm getting to that though. But once we come past the first round, this is where I have more criticisms for. Nicholson. Berlanga at least show that mid range and then long range. Like you don't really want to trade with him. But he was nullified on the inside by Nicholson. But the thing that was frustrating me was Nicholson He was doing all night. He was boxing. He was slipping punches, but he was sending nothing. He was sending nothing back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like you have 20 knockouts, bro, and 23 wins. Hit him with some. Hit him with something. You know.
Well, he did in the last round, I think.
Yeah, he did. But
that right hand was serious. Yeah, I think it hurt him too. But I'm like, dude, where was that like 5 rounds ago? Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm
He
saying
was fighting not to lose. I mean, he was fighting just to survive. It seemed like at first, you know.
Yeah, you know, and Berlanga, at least to his credit, like he didn't gas out. He was calm too. Like I mean, I was like, okay, at least you know he must like even the training video that we saw with him and Lubin, like you know he must have learned something in the sparring sessions because you know he didn't go all crazy try to like you know like he was calm, he was patient, like he tied him up if he needed to. But it was just like he was just surprising. Like you know, you would think that Nicholson would have had more, you know, had more for him. But I think Nicholson,
that's what I'm saying. Berlanga should have got him out of there. You look at what Nicholson was doing, yo.
Yeah, but Berlanga. I mean, he scored an eventual 4 knockdowns. You know, and I think 2 of those knockdowns.
Get this damn Indom shit out of here, yo. this Peter Quillen shit, like, dude, like. The man gave himself a C grade, and y'all up here talking about, yeah, he did good. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
I didn't say he did good. I'm just saying, like, he scored 4 knockouts, but that was clearly one of those performances where, you know, he should have stopped him, and you know,
he should have stopped him.
You know, he definitely should have stopped him, and I think too. And also, I know Berlanga probably wasn't listening to his corner all that much. So,
dude, look, the man gassed. It was noticeable. Second of all, he don't move his fucking head enough. Mm-hmm. Like literally, he doesn't move his head. He keeps a high guard.
That too.
He don't move his fucking head at all. I'm sorry. Like if Nicholson would have just said, you know what, fuck it, win or lose, I'm gonna just go all out. He probably would have dropped the kid. Because if he would have just sat down on his punches and winged some hard shots, he would have landed something. He was landing the jab when he wanted to throw that shit.
Yeah, but the thing is though, but I think at the time that Nicholson, because he had so much inactivity, he did get partially ate up by his power, and you can see it too because dude was shaky as a bitch. Like
he was, but he was surviving. Dude, if you're hurting someone that much, bruh, I could not be no fucking trainer. If I see my guy constantly hurting somebody like that and you don't knock him out, nigga, you fighting me after that. Like, what the fuck? Like, that shit was frustrating. I'm sorry. Like, if you hurt you hit a person and you see their body keep contorting and wobbling and then they shaking and then they doing the damn Little Kim dance, get the fuck out of here. Like, knock this nigga out already. Like, jeez, like, my goodness, like, I don't know that shit, man. Like, but other than that, the manpower is real.
Yeah, no, his power is definitely real.
He's determined as fuck, but that footwork and defense got to work better. He got to work on some angles, some different variety in his shots.
Yeah, and then also, and I know people were saying that maybe he should be kept in 8 rounders for a while. And I can't help but agree with it just a little bit because I mean he showed some growth, but he needs some more. Like if you want to push him, because like I said, I mean he's at the point where a hard punching tournament can actually catch him if on a good night. He's still not at that point.
He'd be all wrong if Saki Obika was still boxing. Yeah, he wouldn't want that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, unfortunately, 168 is not. I mean, it's not a division that has a whole lot of high level talent. So I mean, at this point right now, I mean, most people think he's probably like top 10 in the world for super middles. So.
Which is worse, which hurts him because he's not going to go like that because you're going to have to be selective, but not too selective because you want a guy who's tough and who's capable, but you don't want him too tough and too capable. So. Mm-hmm. He really in a bad spot at 168 because Nicholas, that dude last night could have did better.
Yeah, he could. I mean, and there's no question about that. Yeah, and I know there are people that were like kind of like on Twitter like banning about like who could he face next. I know Lemieux was a name that was being mentioned a whole lot on Twitter. Like he should face Lemieux.
Not with that defense. Stop.
Yeah, I mean Lemieux, for all his own deficiencies, Lemieux hits like a fucking mule. Lemieux is probably a top 3 puncher at that division right now. And
Jesse Hart, right? Come on.
What's that?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I was hearing Jesse Hart too.
Yeah, Jesse Hart. I mean, I know in Jesse Hart, honestly, in Jesse Hart, that would be a 50-50 fight only because Jesse Hart is kind of shaky himself. He's super shaky. But he has the boxing. What's that?
I said he'd be surviving. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
he'd be surviving. Yeah, you know, you don't Jesse Hart.
What did QP say? I'm sorry.
I didn't say nothing. I think it was Pilot.
What did Pilot say?
No,
yeah.
God damn. I'm echoing. My bad. Continue.
Yeah. So I mean, there's Jesse Hart, and then there's Lemieux, and truthfully, Lemieux is probably way more dangerous punching wise than Lemieux can end shit with one shot. Jesse Hart not as much, but Jesse Hart would probably be a good challenge for him in terms of see if he can fix some of his flaws or whatever. And Jesse Hart can stop because Jesse Hart does own a stoppage over Nicholson himself. He did stop him some years back in 7 rounds.
7 rounds.
Didn't Crawford's boy call him out or something? Steven Nelson.
Steven Nelson, he did, yeah.
And that was a while ago. You're right.
So I'm like, why not? That's not a bad fight.
Yeah, Steven Nelson's not a bad fighter. He's actually a damn good fighter.
Honestly, that's a better fight than the Jesse Hart fight. But
agreed.
I don't know.
And then Steven Nelson, because I know he's getting up in age too, so that would be like a now or never. So he'd probably be properly motivated.
He's what 31, 32, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Like he's in his prime right now. But he needs that step up fight.
It could look. If Steve Nelson stays active, that fight could come after the Hart fight.
Word.
But it's one of those fights where it should be either the next fight or the next fight. Like, you can't, because if you don't try to take advantage of these guys right now and try to build up experience and shit, you're gonna see more flaws, or you'll just spoil on the vine fighting jobbers. And when you fight somebody in the top 5, put the foot in your ass.
Well, I know one thing that's supposed to happen is, it's supposed to be a quick turnaround for Berlanga because he's supposed to fight on the Shakur Stevenson card for, Puerto Rican Day, Parade, Weekend, all type of stuff. So,
he getting a jobber.
You know what I'm saying? So, honestly, we don't know how much damage. He was bleeding from the mouth from Nicholson. I'm not sure how, if it was just a simple cut or stitches. But yeah, the turnaround would be like less than 2 months. And truthfully, he should do. He's a young guy, so and it wasn't. Although it wasn't that grueling of a fight for him where he took like an actual beating. So hey,
he knew he was in a fight, but I don't know if I would rush him back out there, because if you rush him back out there, what do you gain? Like, because if they put him back out there soon, they're gonna fight another first round KO, another yawn factory.
You heard the crowd, Top Rank is like, this is Puerto Rican, Puerto Rican Day weekend. Like, we want this kid back because, Berlanga's one of the few young fighters that actually has like an actual legit organic
following. Yeah. I feel you. Like, if they're gonna put him back that soon, just give him a jobber. Don't get all creative with the matchmaking. Just let him get knocked out and be done with it.
Agree.
You put him in there with Hart on this quick turnaround. Yeah,
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but
we'll be back here again talking about, oh man, Berlanga lost.
Oh man, no, but no, it was good. And then I definitely have to mention too, like, I know anyone who betted, because the odds for this fight were crazy. Like, if it went over like 1.5 rounds, it was plus 175. And if it went the distance, it was plus 1,000. So anyone who gambled on going the distance, and even though it looked like Nicholson probably could have been done in the last 10, 12 seconds of the fight,
10 times.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if the referee did stop it, I'm pretty sure someone will probably try to find the ref to kill him.
Dude, you know what? That ref was fucking trash. I don't know what it is with Florida refs with the A side. Man, do they fucking try their hardest to give the fucking fight away? Like, jeez. That shit was fucking annoying. The fucking ref was horrible. And I think he had money on that fucking fight.
He probably did. I mean, like I said,
the one time I don't bet the fucking distance, fuck that ref.
I mean, someone like someone could have easily, like, say, anyone who put 100, anyone who put 100 on distance probably got at least for every 100 got a rack in return. So it was like, you was good. Like, I mean, shit. If I give on that, I would have been jumping up and down the air just saying, oh shit, I just got hit.
Dude, that match was too frustrating to gamble on, especially for a distance fight. All the times Buddy was getting wobbled. You had 5 heart attacks.
That's why. I mean, if I was gambling on that fight, I'd be like, yeah, I'm glad he didn't put him away. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my mentality would have been like yours though. But if I had money on this fight and I put a distance, I'm like, nigga, you better go this distance. You better get your walk, run, jog on, whatever. Just so you hear that final bell. Goddamn it!
I'd be like that. The Tony Oka fight. That was another one I thought was gonna go the distance. This motherfucker knocked him out in the last round. I'm like, the last 10 seconds? I'm like,
yeah.
Like you couldn't last 10 more seconds. Like you was surviving. Like, geez, like that should be annoying. Like,
oh man, no, but like I said, it was good because, like I said, you don't want anyone to become like one trick pony, and then you think all I need to do is I need to knock somebody out in the first round, because that's not the way. Young fighters don't develop that way. I mean, we've seen many variations of what happens when fighters, rely on the one trick and they never evolve the way they should from it. I won't go into my rants about that, but it's out there. If you know, if you're a boxing fan, you know who I'm talking about, or people who I could be talking about. So yeah, no, it was a good co-main, and like I said, dude had the audience eating out of the palm of his hand and everything like that. They love that kid. So bet Top Rank will probably bring him back soon, and hopefully not against someone that could might actually take advantage of some of the flaws that he showed in the Nicholson fight.
There were some flaws, like
for sure, and it's unfortunate that Nicholson, was did not take advantage of him like he should, being the veteran and the hard hitting puncher that he actually is. That's the thing.
But he tried though. He had I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on dude, but he tried to I kind of expected a little more, and I know if he watched the tape, he'll probably will too.
Like, I mean, I was expecting at least to have him have Berlanga moonwalk at least 3 or 4 times during the fight, just to see where his head is at. You know what I mean?
I ain't get no stinky leg, no moonwalk, no heel and toe, like
no hucklebuck, none of that shit.
Like, none of that. I didn't get the canvas swimming, none of that shit.
Yeah. But I mean, Berlanga can only learn from going to this for the first time, and he needed that. So, like I said, I mean, good for him. And Nicholson, maybe next time, bro. Maybe next time. So we get to our main event, and Emanuel Navarrete versus Christopher Diaz. So, Jason, I'm gonna let you start off, man. What did you think about this fight?
Like I said, it's been a while since I've really sat and watched boxing, but I think this was a great fight for me to get back into it, because I mean, it had what you want to see, or somebody like me that I'm not as deep into it as y'all, but I want to see knockdowns, I want to see blood, I want to see the fight.
Absolutely.
The other thing that I will say too is, like, it looked like, for the most part, and y'all can correct me if I'm just being too much of a casual boxing fan, but it looked like Diaz was getting dominated the entire time. But what I do respect is that he was trying to come back. Like, towards the end, like, he got knocked down. I think he got knocked down like 3 times.
Yep.
And then he still was going hard, and I can respect that. Like, he was missing a lot, but he was trying. Like, he wasn't just like, dancing around, trying to avoid contact. But when it went bad, it went bad. Like,
you would have hated the previous fight, man.
Yeah.
When his eyes started leaking, it looked like he was crying blood. Like,
Shit.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But, like, it was, like I said, it was a great fight for me to get back into boxing like that, because I've been out since like the Klitschko's destroyed heavyweights and they kept beating everybody up. Like I'm
damn.
So that's kind of when I stopped watching.
At some honestly, at some point we may need to we may need to do a segment on the Klitschko's and the Klitschko effect on boxing as a whole. Like because there have been too many times where where those two get mentioned. For when people say that's when they stop really fucking with boxing like that. It's interesting to me.
For real.
Because it's like
straight up just said it.
Yeah, they just shut. It was like, damn, you already knew they're gonna beat everybody. It's kind of like how basketball fans feel about like LeBron and the Warriors. During that run, it was always LeBron and the Warriors for like 4 years straight. Yeah, and it's like, damn. Well, let me, But that's because I came up like Mike Tyson was my dude, and I, Holyfield, Mike Tyson. Like I always loved the heavyweight fights.
We definitely understand that. I mean, like I say, if you grew up watching the '90s heavyweights, and then you see, you go into the 2000 heavyweights, there's a noticeable dip in fight quality, but there were still Hall of Fame boxers, And obviously, you mentioned the Klitschko. I mean, the Klitschko's are both Hall of Fame fighters, Vlad especially, but it's bad too. But I won't go too far into this, but Vlad, like even to this day, Vlad is retired. He's been retired for about 4 years, give or take, and people get furious when his name is brought up. Like, they're like, "Oh, he's overrated." Like, there are a lot. If he's overrated, what do they say about some cats like Wilder, like or something like that? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
saying Wilder that niggas will say it could beat Tyson.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm not hating on the Klitschko's, but it was just like, I kind of lost interest because it's like you want to see. I don't know. I'm not hating on them. It just was like, well, damn.
No. I understand. Like, basically, just like as you mentioned in your comic book, you want to see people that look like you and they're dominating, but you're seeing, you're seeing obviously, two brothers from the Ukraine, both big motherfuckers that can punch like a ton and have skill out of the world, and they're dominating all the other, especially other black fighters.
Well, they're dominating real boring. Like
that didn't bother me. I just said they were boring as hell.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that wasn't boring. Vlad, he kind of changed his style up after, the Brewster lost. That's where I think a lot of people kind of like, irritate because that Vlad was super dominant.
Yeah, how many times he changed his style? Every time he get knocked the fuck out, though. Damn, I was about to say, hold on, didn't he change his style before that?
But I mean, the Klitschko's, unfortunately, and obviously, Jason, if you listen to us some more, or even look at some of my Forgotten Fades articles, like there's a lot, there's some boxing gems scattered that you don't need to, that you can always revisit too if you want to get up to speed, man. And myself or Shutterworth or anyone else will be happy to recommend you some fights for you to watch. If to some of the fights you missed during that time period, from that till now, though. But
most definitely. Yeah,
but it's not a casual take, bro. I mean, it depends. Like, I mean, it's not a casual take because, like I said, because a lot of people tune out for the Klitschko's, and it's it's unfortunate, but it's facts. A lot of people did, and it's also like you're a bloodthirsty ghoul. Like sometimes you just want to see some action. Sometimes like, I mean, honestly, boxing is hit and not get hit, but sometimes you actually want people when they're hitting. You want people to commit to actually damaging your opponent because that's professional boxing. You've got to damage your opponent in some way.
At least I'll say with this, the Klitschko's, at the end of the day, you got a knockout. So whether they bored you to death, if you were still up, you saw a good knockout at the end and you left happy. Your final memory was like, damn, he sent dude into the damn Twilight Zone. He hit him into the nether realm. Okay. Took about 8 rounds, but right.
But but speaking of all that, that's what I appreciated about last night. Like that was like a old school bloody ass fight, and it was a good one.
So it definitely was, man. And let me get to that fight. Before we go into that, let me get Rome's opinion. Rome, what was your opinion on that fight?
I thought them niggas was teeing off. They was teeing off. I thought it was really, it really didn't seem like a domination because I was watching it while bowling, so I wasn't really watching it how I was supposed to be watching it. But when I was looking at it, it looked like an even exchange until the nigga started getting dropped.
Yeah, no, it was like it definitely because it looked like. I mean, to me, it looked like Diaz actually won the first 2 rounds because
He looked like
Navarrete.
he was pressuring. He looked like he was applying more pressure than the other buddy, but the other buddy was just landing more.
Yeah, Navarrete has one of his few flaws is he's a slow starter. Like he's one of the premier volume punchers in the sport, but dude drops rounds early. It's a habit. I don't know why he does it, but it takes him a while. But once he gets going, he is hard to stop because
he was throwing 4 or 5 punch combos at a time. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
He was landing them shits too.
And landing them, yeah. And another thing that he does extremely well, and for someone of his size and his like, it's amazing that he does it. He throws lead uppercuts without caring the world, and he lands them repeatedly. Like he throws them shits and he lands them. Like a knockdown is almost sure to occur. I think that's what happened with the first knockdown. He landed a lead left uppercut. Like Brock throws a lot of his punches that are very unorthodox.
And he jumped with that shit. Like
he jumped.
Watching it in real time. Like you almost feel like
season.
But yeah, fuck yeah, uppercut season like a motherfucker. Like it felt like someone threw a bottle at the end.
Yeah, he does it all the time. And then once he gets to that, like, and dude doesn't stop because he also has a chin on him too. Like, you know, like I mean, you hit him in the chin, like dude, his face doesn't show. Like he'll back up. You do some sort of herky jerk movement, and then throw some wild ass shots at you, or throw like a 4 or 5 punch combination at your ass
with no rhythm
whatsoever, and it's hard to time him. But Diaz did something that I had not seen anyone do to him. Like Diaz managed to get him to the body, and then and Navarrete did not like those body shots, and they were legal shots too. And he was bitching, like he's like, "Hey, let me go."
Make a whole narrative of how we could all beat Navarrete if we just go to his body like how we do Thurman. Because everybody always be, we can knock out Thurman, just go to his body. Is that going to be the game plan for Navarrete?
Well, I mean, Diaz definitely. The rounds are he definitely won a couple of rounds more actually doing that shit. But you can see Navarrete. Navarrete didn't like it because I've never seen in any of his other fights someone actually go consistently to his body like that.
He was looking mad actually.
What's that?
He was looking mad actually. Like you don't really
exactly.
see Navarrete look. He's indifferent, but last night he was fighting me.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, and that pissed him off, and then that's when dude started really letting some heat. Like he wasn't fucking around after that, because like obviously he looked like he was like insulted that someone was actually trying to tenderize his midsection. So dude started laying an ass whooping on Diaz. Like I mean, like it's just like what Jason said. Like dude, looked like he was crying blood, like blood tears and shit. Like I mean, Diaz. I mean, I honestly thought
vampire ass whooping.
Okay. I honestly thought Diaz would have been gone. I think by like the third or the final knockdown or whatever. Oh no, by the third knockdown. But Diaz though, like I guess because Diaz is he's Puerto Rican, so I think that he put one last final effort, and then that's when you saw the fire. That's when you saw them cats really slugging it out. Like
the last 3-4 rounds was like some epic boxing shit.
It was brutal.
Yeah, I was like, good lord! Like, and I've never seen Diaz fight. Like, I mean, even in the fight where he lost his first title shot, like he wasn't fighting as hard as he did. Like dude was fighting super hard. Like he was absorbing all types of fades until, and I'm thinking to myself, damn. Official scorecard boxing science said Navarrete loves to jump in from the outside, feigning an overhead, and then follows up with long range left uppercuts and hooks. Yeah, that's absolutely accurate.
Like he distracts you, and then he dips under. Like he puts another hand out of your peripheral, so you don't even see the uppercut coming. You try to back up, and it's perfect timing because that little leap he does. When you back up, it almost makes it worse. Because now you're at the end of the punch, and you get your chin is getting rocked right up.
Yeah, and then
high IQ, high boxing IQ.
Yeah, and it's a bitch to time it because you can't. I mean, because you gotta have some reflexes in order to time something like that.
Nah, you know what it is? You can't let him do it. You don't time it. You don't let him do it. You need a Glenn Johnson type of fighter on Navarrete. Someone who's gonna jab his way in and work the hell out that body as a king, and he got a two-fisted attack. Like Diaz, I know was trying to box with him sometimes. He was landing good shots, but you can't outbox Navarrete, man. He's just one of those guys. You gonna have to fight him at one point.
Yeah, and then also you have to get his respect too. And Diaz didn't get. I don't think he got his respect enough in the fight. You know,
he just pissed him off.
Yeah, he just pissed him off.
Like slapping a grizzly bear. Like he's not gonna respect you. You just pissed it off.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, Navarrete was there. They were letting some straight fades on each other, and I'm thinking to myself, this shit might actually go the distance though. But in the 12th round, you know, Navarrete was just like, you know, he demonic shit. The dude went just like. Dude was just hitting him with some ridiculous combinations and everything, man.
And did I see it right? Was he kind of toying with him a little bit towards the end, or was that just his defense? Because it looked like he was doing like a little like you know, hit me, like leaning in and then lean back and shit like that. Like, was that his defense, or was he really toying with dude?
I think both.
Kind of both too, but yeah, Navarrete. I mean, but Navarrete definitely wanted to get him out of there. Like, I mean, there was like dude had the fire in his eyes. He wanted to get him out of there, and Diaz had never been stopped before. So it's like, you know, so yeah, one more combination that sent him down. Like, I mean, it was sick too, because I mean, Diaz was getting his head rocked along the ropes too. Like, he was almost bobbleheaded.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but the fact that Diaz actually got up from that, you know, but, you know, the corner finally, like, wisely, even though there was only a few seconds in the fight or a couple, you know, there wasn't a lot of time left, you know, yeah, the corner was just like, you know what, now, like, this dude is really crying blood right now, so we got to pull this dude out of there.
Oh, yeah, but he got up, he was ready.
Yeah.
He probably didn't know where he was, but he was ready.
Yeah. You know, yeah, it was absolutely nuts though. But yeah, that fight though, that fight definitely made for good TV. And then Jason, yeah, that was definitely a good fight for you to watch, you know, because usually Diaz fights are not that live like that either. They're really not. You know, so that was an outlier for him. And you
had too many Puerto Ricans in that arena for it not to be live.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because you know, you either fight hard or you know, or you get booed out of the fucking building. Yeah, Puerto Ricans, man, they have some high standards for their boxers, man.
We'll boo you out the parking lot too.
Yeah.
That's one of those, like, we'll chase you down the street booing, like, boo.
Yeah, and then also too, because I remember, I believe there were also fights in the crowd too. It was that type of crowd, like, you know, there were Puerto Ricans and Mexicans all up in there. So, you know, usually when you have something like that, you know, fights are gonna fight, and there were several fights in the crowds too. So it was that type of. So yeah, Diaz couldn't be. He couldn't be like, nah. I gotta be conservative and try to box this dude. Yeah, because he had to do it. And, you know, for better or for worse, you know, dude had to absorb some fades in order to get some respect, you know, from his countrymen. You know, so yeah, it made for a great TV fight. Great fight. Navarrete won by 12, you know, in the 12th round, and like I said though, dude is a motherfucker to deal with. Like, I mean, it's amazing too. Like I said, dude actually has a loss on his record, you know, and you almost want to actually go and see, like, how the hell did this person actually defeat him?
But they beat him like a long time ago. He was like a legit, really. Like,
it was a while ago. It was a long, and I think that guy is still active as a fighter too. That's another.
Oh man, nah, you gotta rematch that.
Yeah, eventually.
That's a stay busy fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember when you beat me before? Like, I'm champ now. Want a rematch?
And honestly, and I know too, like on Twitter too, like honestly, there's some people that kind of like, you know, people understand again that dude is a problem, and then people are like, oh no, this dude could be beaten easy and whatnot by other champions. Now, most people know, like, I'm a fan of Gary Russell, and I do think, you know, he's a top featherweight, and, you know, he's one of the longest reigning champions. He is the longest reigning champion in boxing today. But Gary would have his hands full with someone like this guy. He would. Like, yeah. I mean. And I want to see the fight too. But you know, the odds of that fight being made are probably like
zero.
Yeah,
there's a better chance being made than Spence and Crawford.
Yeah, but Navarrete is a problem, and I know Shakur Stevenson was giving him his props, and was like, I can't wait to go. I can't wait till he gets to 130. Like, bruh, like you could have stayed at 126 and fought him. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, those, I can't wait till you go to my basketball court. Like, he was just at his last week.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you giving up your belt is the reason why he became champion. Like, I mean, you could have. You could have actually made that fight happen at some point, But yeah, Navarrete is good where he's at. You gotta let him try to at least, try to attempt to make a fight with a high roller in that division or somebody.
We want to see him fight an elite guy. Dog Bay, Diaz, all those guys are cool.
Oh, not Dog Bay. He needs to leave Dog Bay alone, bro. Like,
no, I'm just saying all the guys he named, like all the people he's fought that were good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Guys like Dog Bay, Diaz, Villa, they're solid, they're good, but they're not an elite.
Right. Yeah, that Dog Bay.
That's the next level we want to see.
The Dog Bay beating still hurt my heart a little bit because he beat the crap out of Dog Bay in both of those fights, bro. Like, I shook my head because that dude came out of nowhere and whooped the ever-loving shit out of Dog Bay. I didn't like seeing that.
Well, damn, sound like you like the Diaz beat,
I mean, the Diaz beat. I mean, honestly, truthfully, I thought the fight. I didn't think Diaz would actually show that type of heart.
Yeah, me either. I'm surprised. Like, that's why I gotta give him his props because, like Jason said, like even to the very last end, he was trying it, and he hit Navarrete with some haymakers, but it's like Navarrete. He fight like a fucking sentinel. Just optic beams don't hurt. Like,
he all of them like it was nothing.
Yeah.
But did he trip? Did Diaz knock Navarrete down once, or did he trip?
He tripped. It was a trip because I think when he was landing his fades, he lost his footing. Yeah,
he did a plus ultra combo and got carried away.
Right, he tripped himself.
Yeah, he tripped himself, and he got up to whoop some more ass. But yeah, no,
he and this a beat,
right?
Yeah. So that was a great fight to watch. Like the whole top rank card was dope from top to bottom. Like, there was very little lull. I think the lull was just really in one particular fight on the prelims or whatever.
And we've had worse lulls, so it's
we definitely have worse lulls. So I mean,
we had main event lulls. Yeah,
facts. So top rank. Thumbs up for that, and thumbs up. For getting someone like Jason. Back into the sport, and hopefully this will have him keep an eye out for other future fights.
Right, it will. I appreciate y'all for giving me a reason to get back into it, because it's like with boxing, my thing was always like just keeping up with. There's so many fights, so many like all the undercards, like y'all know like everything about all the undercards. Like boxing is just so overwhelming for me, and it's like I gotta like take small steps to get back into it.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, boxing is admittedly one of the more difficult sports to follow casually because not everything is cut and dry, and having to explain certain things about boxing makes me roll my eyes, like the title situation.
Certain cards.
Yeah, the 7 cards.
Why is Canelo fighting Yildirim and Durrell fighting somebody else on the same day? Like,
yeah. Or why doesn't PBC and Top Rank get together to make fights? Or why doesn't Matchroom get together to do this? Like, why don't some of these fights happen the way they are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boxing, like I said, if you're a hardcore, most of us are or whatever, like I said, I mean, basically the trick is to never stop watching it, because when you do that, you do miss some things. At some point, like you do miss a lot of things that could have went down or whatever. Because for as slow as some things move in boxing, like if you miss like maybe a month or two of it, then you can easily put stuff back, because there's always a lot of behind the scenes fuckery with it.
Oh yeah.
Why this fight didn't get made? This fight fell through.
Yeah.
This person did that. Like, You know, but you know what? You might be on something. Because the way boxing is now, boxing is more of a casual game now. Like, you just want to see the good fights, and then you just want to fall back and do whatever. And then when another good fight come up, get your interest back. And I look at it now like Jason, he's now that extra person that I'm gonna have to send a damn message to every weekend, like, yo, hey, this fight, you ain't gonna want to miss this one. Like,
I'm gonna need you to do that, bro. I'm gonna tell you, y'all gonna laugh at me, but the last fight that I really watched was Wilder and Stavern.
Oh, wow.
Which
one
one?
or two?
I think it was the second one.
Okay.
You ain't watch much then.
Yeah.
That was the last
flip the page.
That was the last fight I really watched.
Was it just that fight, or was it the whole card you just watched?
It was just that fight because I kept hearing all the Wilder hype. It might have been the first one, but I kept hearing all the Wilder hype because, like I said, I was a heavyweight dude, and I kept hearing all the hype about Wilder. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna check him out. And I remember it was like, oh yeah, this is cool, but it was like, yeah, I think I'll, just fall back on boxing.
Yeah, because I mean, one thing that I won't deny about Wilder is, yes, he for heavyweight, especially American heavyweights, yes, he did bring some attention back to the heavyweight division, but that's the good. But the bad is, you got people that were kind of overrating him from jump, especially off that particular fight.
Yeah,
that fight is what started it all. Like,
the second fight. I mean,
because it was like the desperation to have another American heavyweight, so he just became that. Is that what that was about?
And the funny thing is too, is there were still American heavyweight champions even in the down period of the heavyweight. They just never got the attention, and they were better fighters too. Well, Charles Martin is debatable. But
oh god! So sorry, Mal.
Sorry, Mal. But yeah, there were. But yeah, I think Wilder, because Wilder knocked somebody out with one punch. Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to see how he would get the attention that he deserved though. But for good or for worse, he definitely brought attention back to point. And yeah, I can see, like I said, I mean, it's easy because the fight only lasted one round, Jason. So yeah, definitely.
But he was on, like, that's when all the casuals started fucking with him. I remember
that was it. It seemed like that was like right. That fight was like kind of kicked it off for him.
Yeah.
It did. You know how I know? That weekend, after that weekend, the following Monday, I went into work. And Ron came up to me like, yo, nigga, you seen the Wilder knockout? That's when I knew.
Yeah.
Because this was back, because when that happened, I know you would, like, we weren't boxing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew then, like, okay, like, he came up to me about it, like, this dude's known now.
And funny too, because people did watch the Stavern fight, but the first Stavern fight, but the fact that he did not get a knockout in that one, I think that's part of the reason why. And he actually boxed. He boxed probably perfectly.
Best boxing performance ever from him.
That was one of his best performances.
Yeah, but it wasn't the type of performance that if you were looking for the knockouts, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, he's champion, hurrah. But yeah, but for the fact that dude wantonly sent Stavern into the bushes that quickly, that was that was what you would call Wilder's star-making performance, and then you go from there though. So yeah, I can definitely understand that, Jason, though. But But yeah, no, definitely. There are definitely some fights on the horizon. I mean, next weekend, obviously, well, for good or for worse, and we'll definitely go into those fights like on tomorrow's cast. Obviously, you have like the Ruiz Areola. I mean, that one's going to be a slugfest. For good or for better or for worse, it's going to be a slugfest. Like, I mean, someone's going to get brutalized in that fight. Like, so I definitely recommend that fight.
Oh yeah, because this is a heavyweight dude.
These are heavyweights too.
You got like 2 heavyweight cards actually. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, LB will fill you in on whatever message.
Most definitely.
But yeah, if you want to know for sure where you guys see 2 Mexican heavyweights with with heavy fists that will probably be swinging at each other. That will be one for sure. That's going to go down. Like, and no one's going to go the distance enough. If they do, someone's going to get ruined.
Yeah. We're glad we got you back on the path of the fist.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Yeah, so I think this will be a good stop, for tonight's show, and we like to also give everyone final thoughts. So Jason, let's let you set off. Tell people where they can find you at, your social media and everything like that, and the floor is yours.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you all for having me. It was a great time. Thoroughly enjoyed myself, and thanks for giving me the platform to ramble a little bit. Hopefully I was able to drop some good information, some entertaining content in my rambling. But I really appreciate y'all. You can find me on social media. It's at Odd Ninja Media. That's Instagram, that's Twitter, that's Facebook. Website is oddninja.media. That's where you can find all my Jericho Cutter content and all a bunch of other ill shit.
Word up.
Yeah, that's about it. And shout out to Black Drew. I kind of neglected him during this Odd Ninja journey, but I'm using this Odd Ninja platform to bring some more attention to Black Drew. Hence, like doing the theme song and y'all doing the video, which again is super, super dope. But shout out to Black Drew. But yeah, thank you all. I appreciate it.
That's what it is, man. Pilot, man, do you have any final thoughts?
No, not really. I mean, thank you, Jason, for joining the show. I mean, your work looks really amazing. I'm just glad to be here again as always. Ring Gang Radio. Follow Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and everything in between.
That's what it is, man. Pilot, he's short and precise, man, with his words, man. That's real talk. P, you have any final thoughts?
I mean, first off, shout out to Jason for coming on. We definitely enjoyed it. Shit is dope. Please go get that Jericho Cutter. Your shit is fire. So don't be sleeping.
Thank you.
So shit is dope. But other than that, you know what it is. The gang we rep, Ring Gang Radio, all day. You know what I'm saying? So you know where to find us at. I ain't even gotta say more. Just keep tuning in. We got some more stuff on the way.
Absolutely. Hey, LB, man, what you got?
Oh man, everybody's doing a good job with the shout outs on. I gotta say with a heavy heart, RIP Shock G.
Yes.
That shit hurt my heart. Cause, like it's different when you got like artists die, or artists from your teenage era, you're grown, and you really got into the music, but it's a different feeling when it's one of those artists that passed, and he's one of the very first people you listened to, as a kid, as growing up,
I know how that feels. That's how I felt with X.
Yeah,
I feel you. And it's like Shock G, Digital Underground, the Humpty Hump. That was the first real hip hop dance, Lil Shutter was doing.
Lil Shutter.
And when all the drip this man had, the disguises as a kid, I'm thinking this man, there's two of them. And if you remember the UMTV Raps episode, and he keep running around, and he's like, damn, hold on, that shot, the shit was just dope, man.
Yo, I was an adult when I realized that Shock G and Humpty Hump were two different people.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the same person. I was an adult when I realized it was the same person.
And it's amazing too, because like I said, I mean, that's how much talent is. And fun thing is too, I think Humpty Hump was probably more well known than Shock G.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing in the dance and everything. And he a legend. I gotta give him his props. I remember the movie. he brought Tupac in, and Tupac,
he did.
Tupac
yeah, that movie with the monsters.
Yeah.
So it's just everything.
Yeah, man, they did the same song on there. Like, I mean, Shock G was low-key part of a lot of events, and Digital Underground is so underrated. Like, even to this day, I feel because their music, I mean, obviously they're known for Humpty Dance and the Tupac collection, but their music was really dope.
Yeah. Like this whole trippy vibe before Juicy J was saying that shit.
Yeah. They were like the hip hop version of like George Clinton.
Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah.
Perfect example. So I just wanted to say that, just throw it out there. Shot GRP. He will be missed. As a legend in the game. It's just they ain't letting us breathe, man. That's just 3 in a row. Like, damn, like. But I don't want to say nothing else because then I don't need to take me yet, so
Yes.
But so let me chill. I don't want to, like he made a mistake or something. Like, hold on, let me come back. But that's it. With Shock G. Y'all make sure, and shout out to my nigga Jason B. I put Jason B. Ryan. I gotta throw the R in there because
full name.
Motherfucker took my name, initial, all of that shit.
Oh, right.
So that's shout out Big Bro and Clanarchy too, man. One day he gonna be up on here.
Word up! Shout out to Clanarchy.
Because we all brothers here, and y'all make sure y'all fuck with that Jericho Cutter comic. I'm about to say fucking episode 2. Issue 2 is in the fucking works, and that shit is gonna be bananas. And if you can't wait for that, and you fuck with that damn promo, that music video, that Jericho Cutter theme is out now, available on all platforms, Spotify, Google, whatever the fuck else is out there. Nigga, iTunes, y'all know the rest.
All of it.
Shit's videos on YouTube. If you follow us on Ring Gang or Twitter, we put the video up again so you can see it. Just check that out. And as for myself and me and Clan Uncle, we just dropped that Return of the Sample Kings. So first time in like 3 years, we dropped something. So
long overdue, and it's fire. I'm officially saying it's fire. I'm completely biased because y'all are like my brothers, but that shit is fire.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
It was worth the wait.
Yeah, yes, sir. Like you already know it. Especially if you're a fan of the intro. I know a lot of people. I've seen the comments. People, damn, that beat's fire. Like, we got that song on there, so you hear the whole fucking, shout outs. It's Ring Gang forever. Shout out to my nigga Pilot. Cause he the only person I didn't get to really shout out on that album. So I got him on the next one. So
appreciate it.
Word up. And then the only thing, I mean, obviously, all you brothers already, you said what you had to say. I only have one thing to say in the shout out, man. I gotta say shout out to Kamaru Usman for the wonderful knockout he laid on Masvidal last night, man. And that shit was highlight reel. That shit was textbook boxing right there, And that was people think that Usman was boring. Yeah, there ain't nothing boring about a punch that's that you can see someone's soul flying out of their head. So. Definitely, shout out to Usman on that. That was a wonderful knockout. But other than that, Ring Gang all day, every day, man. We're everywhere. The website, the YouTube, Podomatic, Spotify, Anchor, man. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We on there, man. We out there. So tell your friends about us. Sub to our YouTube channel. And so they can sub to and then we can all, like be friends, man. As like I said, we do this shit for y'all, man. So definitely, Ring Gang, we got some more things in store. So definitely stay tuned, and also shout out for Jason for coming on and talking to us tonight, man. We appreciate it. And you dropped a lot of, good stories. So it wasn't rambling to me. You dropped some, but you dropped some messages. Like hopefully that someone listens to this and be like, okay, yeah, I got something. Like he got something. Like you dropped some real motivating stuff. So that's real. Yeah, so for myself, Pat Scorpion, the Nigga Representative, to LB Shuttleworth, the God, the Go Artist, for King P, Bodega P, for Conscious Pilot, for Rome, I think I had to drop off, and then, and for Jason, Odd Ninja, this has been another wonderful episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. So until next time, peace.